The crash is coming. Well, no, it's not. But you don't have to believe me because the numbers don't lie. I hear a lot of times, oh, foreclosures, there's all these foreclosures. I'm seeing all these foreclosures. I think you're just saying that because the foreclosure rate in the United States has experienced significant fluctuations over the past 2 decades, reaching its peak in 2010 at 2.23%, following that crazy financial crisis of '08. However, since then, the rate has steadily declined, with a notable drop to just 0.11% in 2021. And last year in 2024, the rate stood at a minuscule 0.23%, which is well below the historical averages. Now, obviously, that indicates a pretty stable market, right? Additionally, people will complain, and understandably so, that the rates are too high and they need to come down. But actually, historically, going all the way back to 1971, as you can see from this chart, the average interest rate is actually a little under 8% for a 30-year mortgage. And at the time of this video, you can lock in an interest rate at just under 7%. So actually, you could say that rates right now are historically low. But circling back to the brief mention of the crash, I just hear about this every single day on social media. People are like, oh, it's crashed, it's gonna crash, it's gonna crash. People forget the number one reason for the crash of 2008 was due to predatory lending and unregulated mortgage industries as a whole. And when the mortgages came due, these people couldn't afford them. They couldn't pay them, and there was this mass foreclosures across the board. Now, I don't know if you've tried to apply for a mortgage recently, but if you have, you will know that your mortgage lender needs to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can afford that house, or you're not getting that loan. Also, due to the increase in home prices, a lot of people, instead of losing their house, are choosing to sell that house because they have a lot more equity in most cases and can cash out and readjust their living situation to get something that more suits their financial budget instead of getting foreclosed on. Now, lastly, the number one reason that there's not going to be this drastic drop in home prices is simply supply and demand. The demand for housing is still rising, but again, don't take my word for it, here's the numbers for you. In the third quarter of last year, 2024, the number of residential mortgages issued by lenders increased. In November alone, new home purchase mortgages applications increased by 7.2%. In just the first 3 quarters of 2024, Americans originated 1.23 trillion, yes, trillion with a T, in new mortgage debt. So there you have it. You now have the numbers and the facts to share with your friends and family. And it's not all doom and gloom. Yes, prices are going up, and if you're trying to buy your first home, it can seem pretty daunting, but there are so many programs out there to help you with down payments and closing costs. For example, right here where I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the city just granted a $25 million, what do you want to say? It's not a policy, but a fund, that's what I'm looking for. But to help first-time home buyers, which is in addition to the down payment assistance programs that my state already has. So be sure you're checking with your local lender to see what programs are available in your state. Now, I do realize there is a bit of shell shock going on with home prices, and people always say, I just wish I would have bought a home last year or 3 years ago, and so on. I hear this all the time. But if you're wanting to buy a home, take advantage of these programs that are available in your area and buy the freaking house. And then years from now, you can say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I was one of those people that bought back in 2025 instead of waiting for home prices to drop, because all the data points that it's just not happening.